Hey, howdy, everybody in the club. Oons. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing fantastic. This is a great day. It's a great Thursday day. In fact, it's actually one of those Thursdays. It's pretty good, dare I say. Uh, yeah, there's that. Hope you're doing very well, everybody. Today, welcome back, of course. I almost forgot. Just Stranded Deep in conversation, where we chit, we chat, and we sat on the ground. There we go. That seems about right. Okay. So today, I don't really have a whole lot of idea. If I'm being completely honest, I just kind of woke up and was like, I should probably get this going. So I have, however, a fair amount of this week in retail, on the old chopping block here. So if we'll just go through that, and then if we still have some time, then hey, I'll just think of something to talk about. That sounds about right. Sounds about on course. I'm all for that. So yeah, I hope you're all doing well. Let's just get straight into this week in retail, everybody, shall we? So, this didn't. Okay, this is the thing. It happened this week. It didn't happen to me. At least, most of what happened this particular day didn't happen to me. This was towards the beginning of the week, and I come in, and I'm told about the just sheer insanity that happened on this particular morning for a day of work at our jolly old store. And I'm just gonna list off some of the things that happened to my coworkers on this morning, because again, I didn't get to see it myself, but I got plenty of just what's the word? I was gonna say exploitation, but that's not right. Prerequisites. What's the word? It's the exposition. I got plenty of exposition from them, plenty of an explanation from them about what happened. One of those two words is probably right. So, the power within... Tubby got up off the couch, and now I have to go let him out of that. Hold on, everybody. Okay. We're back. So the power... Really unfortunate that he interrupted the moment I had a thought, and now I've lost it. The power took... Within the span of the first 15 to 20 minutes, the power went out 7 or 8 times, they said. So within 20 minutes, they experienced 7, at minimum, power outages. And upwards of 8, which is one more. But it's still a lot for 20 minutes. That doesn't happen to us. It has happened before. It's happened twice to me before working this. It's not very common, but it does happen. And one time it happened to me was a while back. We had balloons on our wall, and we were tearing them down because we were getting our place renovated. And I was starting to pluck down the balloons, and the first one that I got, because I couldn't really reach it from the top of the wall, so I took a broom handle and kind of just poked at it until the tape fell off. And then as the balloon was starting to come off the wall, the whole store went boom. And it went bleh. And it wasn't the morning. It was a morning shift. One of my very rare morning shifts. And I was like, oh my god, I broke it, didn't I? And my coworker thought the exact same thing. Well, no, they didn't think the exact... They looked at me with this shock and horror in my face and thought I did do something. But turns out, no, the power just went out for no real reason at all. So I thought that I hit a secret switch on the wall or something. But no, it was just went out. And when the power goes out, everything goes to shit. Everything goes to shit. It is bad. We got so much technology going in this fucking store. It's not a fun time. Our back lock for our back door, also, this is a separate thing. Our back door lock got jammed, and they called someone to fix it, and they actually came the same day, which is very, very rare for anything. So it just happened same day. And somehow, in the middle of trying to fix the lock, it just straight up fell off the door. They didn't take it off the door. It fell off the door. So somehow, in the matter of trying to fix it, the lock just came off completely. Luckily, it's back up now, so we're fine. But they literally just fell off, and like for a while they literally had to get a replacement one. And since it's at the back door, it's kind of important that you have an alarm there. So like a door, like is the lock, and if it moves it, then it triggers an alarm. Pretty important to have that. So we got that pretty quick, thank goodness. But yeah, that was wild. The walls and lights, every time the power would go off, would make, off and on, would make a constant buzzing noise. Like, zzz. And they said after the last time that the power went off, it went like that for almost an hour. So just an hour of in the wall, as if there was like some wasps trying to get in and kill everybody. Like they went through the back door and slid into our walls and just started making they're digging. They're like jackhammers, like woodpeckers going trying to get through our wall. But it stopped eventually. Our printer that prints paperwork for certain things that we need paperwork for kept printing the same one over and over again. Like we had like 6 different, like each thing of paperwork is like 3 pieces of paper, and it printed it like 6 times over the span of like 10 minutes. So it was like, oh hey, you need the paperwork, I got you. And then it just forgot that we already got the paperwork, and it kept printing said paperwork over and over and over and over and over and over until it was when I opened the door to go to the printer, it was full of just the exact same thing, which I thought was pretty funny. And apparently at some point in the... I cannot see. Apparently at some point in the day, one of my coworkers is fairly anxious about stuff like that. Like, just when everything goes to shit, they're like, oh my god, what are we gonna do? We're doomed. There's nothing we can do, we're doomed. You know? So, they kind of freaked out with one of my other coworkers. And what wound up happening was, they were on the register checking somebody out, and then she starts going, hey, this fine, this is great, this is fine. And she starts like jolting and jittering around. It's like she's like freaking out my other coworker in the process. But they were also just having a really big laugh about it, so they were like, oh, okay, this is just weird, alright, it's whatever. It was a very strange thing to come in and hear. Which is, I mean, hey, it's all in a day's work. Even though, again, it was the day. It didn't happen to me. At night, it was actually fairly smooth going. The only thing that really happened to me was that, like, certain labels wouldn't print from our, like, certain printer for that. So we had to just restart that, reboot that, which should mean worked just fine. So it worked fine afterwards. So there was really no issue there. I was just a bit of an idiot. And the only other thing that happened was when I was trying to close, one of the numbers for the amount of money that was supposed to be in one of the drawers wasn't adding up very well. It was like $30 under what we were supposed to do, what I had. Or sorry, yeah, we had $30 less than we were supposed to have. And I was like, uh-oh, this isn't good. So I backed out, and I tried doing something else, just to see if, like, I don't know, just to, just kind of like, I'll get to it when I get to it. And then my coworker from the morning shift called. Mind you, like, she said she only had a couple of drinks, but she sounded completely zonked out of her mind. Like, absolutely just gone in all aspects of the word. And she calls, I guess, just kind of cool down. She did that. And she was, like, asking if everything was good, because, I mean, the morning was such a fucking crazy train. And I'm like, yeah, but one of these drawers is, like, fairly short. And she's like, how short? I'm like, it's like $30. She's like, oh, shit. And I'm like, yeah, let me go see. And I go back into that drawer, and then somehow it's not short anymore. Like, it says it went from saying we needed $30 more than we had to saying that we had exactly the amount that we needed as she called. So I thought she, like, freaking broke into the system and hacked it somehow. But she was completely, she was out of it, so there's no way she could do that. But it was just absolutely insane. I still don't understand entirely what happened and how that happened, but I'm glad it did. Everything worked out fine. So ultimately, the crazy day ended completely fine. No one died. Well, unless you go from like a bigger perspective, in which case millions of people have died on that day. I can only assume there's billions of people, so millions dying sounds about right. How many people die in a day? How many people die every day? I don't need to know how many people died in China and in India. I assume in general. I guess they don't have that number. Oh, there we go. There's 401,000 births per day, and only 158,000 deaths per day. That's fucking nuts. Okay, wow. So that's a lot of new life. So I guess. So I don't want to go all. How does that add up for certain things? You know, like. I imagine the people who are into, like, who, like, believe in reincarnation, probably, I guess that's why they think it's goats and stuff, because, I mean, or a crab. If I were to be reincarnated, I would want it to be a crab, but, because, like, there's too many people being born to make up for all the people who died, so where are these other 300,000 people? Do the cows get reincarnated as people as well? Like, when you eat a cow, it turns into a person? How many cows die in a day? That's gotta be a lot, right? How many cows die a day? 890,000 gets per day? What? Globally, 890,000 cows are slaughtered a day? That doesn't sound right. The FAO figures suggest that globally 324 million cattle, or 890,000 per day, get slaughtered for food, and 3.1 billion people aren't consuming enough food. What? That's fucking wild. 25 million chickens every day are killed. What the hell? That's insane. 1 million chickens are killed every hour. Dude, that's fucking wild. Wow. I don't even. Wow, that's insane. Okay, well, I mean, if you really think about it from the broad perspective, alright, hold on. How many things die in a day? What is the average of death per day? 150,000 deaths. That's not what I'm asking. How many animals? 23.3 million land animals are killed every single day. So I was right. It is indeed in the millions. That was a dumb side tangent. Okay, well, things die, everybody. It's a crazy world. Things die way more than I expected, at least. There's still a couple more things to talk about, and honestly, I didn't think. I mean, it's already been 15 minutes. I don't know what the hell happened. But these two are. Right now. Yeah, no, they only have 2 more things, and one of them is fairly long. One of them is not even that long at all. This one's kind of cool, though. It's a short one. I was walking to work, and like maybe a third of the way into the walk, some lady in this doorless Jeep comes to me and says, "Hey, do you want to ride?" And I'm like, I'm not gonna say no to that. That's awesome. Because for those of you who don't know, I have only ever driven one vehicle in my entire life, and it was like a quad bike sort of thing that had a back thing, so I could carry around huge jugs of water. Because I was the training room assistant in college for all the sports and stuff. and I would drive that around because they said you didn't need a license for it, which I seriously doubted. But I mean, I did it, and I only had trouble parking it inside of a garage, and only almost fucked up the front of it once. So pretty good, all things considered. But because first of all, alright, it's not. It's for context for that story, by the way. It wasn't even like that thing should not have gone in that garage. Like I'm not even kidding. Like I feel like with normal car garages, they give you a lot of extra room, a lot of extra space on each side. That thing, if you didn't drive it in there perfectly straight, it wasn't gonna fit. Like it was that thin of a space, and getting out after you park it in was near impossible because you had to like climb over and around it. You had to like go into the back and hop off the back. If you just tried getting off from the side, you wouldn't have enough room. There was no room to park one of those out. In fact, we had two, and one of them had to be parked outside because we didn't have enough room for the one inside. So how the hell are we supposed to put a second one in there? We just put it on top? No. So I don't know why they had us park it inside, and they were like, just put it inside. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's, you know, and keep in mind, they know I don't know how to drive, and they're like, oh yeah, just do this insanely thin parking maneuver. And so I hit the thing, and I'm like, oh dear lord. And so then I try to back up, and I can't back up. For whatever reason, it's just not backing up. And I'm like, okay, well, this is a problem, isn't it? So I had to go to the front and push it out. And keep in mind, they all went inside and left me to deal with this on my own. And so I'm just pushing this thing off of the wall, and then it lets me back up. I don't know what the fuck happened. I must have gotten really stuck in there somehow. And and then I just kind of try to put it in. Didn't work, so I just kind of scooch it. I kind of like just push it into position, and then I just get in and go in and turn it on and drive forward, and then it pretty much worked out. It was a fucking wild time. That was awful. But I loved driving that thing around, and I loved being driven around in that thing. The first time they were trying to show me around the campus and show me where all the fields were and stuff. That thing went fast, and you can just feel the wind hitting you, and I love that feeling. I absolutely adore that feeling, and it gets rid of a lot of the whole car sickness thing for me, because a lot of the car sickness comes from just that nasty smell that the car would just bring to you, because you just have to deal with the inside smell of this nasty hot car. You don't have to do that with a freaking doorless vehicle. And I always said, if I was going to get a car ever, I would want one with not maybe a door, because like I don't want to fly out the side, but definitely like one of those Jeeps without like all the super enclosed nature of it, because I just would much prefer that at the end of the day. And lo and behold, that's what I got. Money. That's what I want. That's what just happened, except it wasn't exactly what happened, because it was a completely doorless open vehicle. And they told me to put the seatbelt on, because otherwise I would probably fly out the side, because they were driving pretty fast. And apparently they are our male lady. There we go. That wasn't that hard of a sentence. For me it was. They're our male lady. They're our mirror. They're our mirror. They're our male lady. So that's pretty cool. And they gave me a ride, and I'm like, alright, see ya. And I was like, alright, see ya. And that was just fun. That was cool. I got to work super early, but I didn't care. It was really cool. So I had a good time there. And the last thing I have written down, I'm sure I could have written more things down, because this week was kind of crazy, but I can't remember anything. And yeah, I didn't write it down, so it must not have been as crazy as I expected. We have at work, we do passport photos for some people, because, you know, it's passport photos. Why the fuck not? You know, just roll down a white sheet, click, and then print the photo. Easy peasy. So we do that, and well, we didn't do that. Oh, my coworker did it at the time. They did some passport photo prints. And then I went to the camera to see if they deleted the photos, because no one ever deletes the photos. And lo and behold, she didn't delete the photos. And so I'm deleting the photos, and I'm like, just like pointing the camera at her, like, what did you have to say about this? She's like, and we just start dicking around with it. Kind of just, you know, like, she finds, like, this rainbow hair extension, and, like, she puts it in, and, like, starts, like, oh, I'll do, get this shot, and I'm like, okay, cool, and we just started, like, taking pictures, and then she's like, oh, put it on, I'm like, oh, there's video options, like, oh, dude, let's do that, and she's like, let me show you around, and at one point, I turn around, and she's like, now can I turn back this way, and I turn back around, and that thing, she fucking whips the camera with the hair extension, and it goes flying across the store, and it falls on the ground lens first, and like the batteries pop out, and it's like, uh-oh. So we go to put the batteries back in and see if it's fine, and we hit the little power button, and it just it's like a little light that flashes orange or yellow. I don't really know. I'm bad at colors. But it flashes this orangey yellow, and we're like, and it doesn't turn on. Like, it flashes once, and then it just doesn't turn on. I'm like, oh, we fucking broke it, didn't we? So we then spend the next, like, hour trying to figure out what the fuck happened. And in the process of doing this, we took a screwdriver to it and unscrewed the damn thing to see if it was the inside that got fucked up. But there was one screw that we couldn't really get, so it's kind of, we just kind of like really pry it, and we didn't fucking break it off. We just like tried working around it, so it was really hard to tell what was going on inside that thing. And at one point, I was like, let me try to freaking plug it in. This is a little plug-in option, because there's batteries where you can charge it, I guess. I don't really understand how it works. But I plug it in, and it goes green. And we're like, oh my god, it's going green. And then it's just a little swirly symbol, and then it just goes dead. And I'm like, holy shit. I think I fixed it, and I called my coworker over to see if it's like, figure it out. Like, maybe we're onto something there. And she sits down next to me, and she's like, so you got it? And she hits the camera, and I don't expect that, so my grip's not very strong, and the camera falls out of my hand and onto the ground again. So she just fucking slam dunks the camera onto the ground again. She's like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with your grip? Just hold on to something, for God's sake. I'm like, dude, what am I expecting that? Who expects that to happen? So we dropped the camera twice. It didn't do anything. We also tried kind of just chucking it to see if throwing it again would fix it anyway. Because, you know the whole thing where, like, there's that one video online of, like, someone threw something at the TV and it broke, so they, like, hit it with a hammer, and then it just reverted all the damage done. That is effectively what we were hoping for, but it is not at all what happened. So we can't fix it. We're just like, alright, screw. We'll bring out the old camera, and we'll just make it work. So luckily we had a second one, but my manager doesn't really like the old one. I like the old one better, personally, because you can delete photos in mass, whereas with the other photo you have to delete them one at a time. But, you know, they'll prefer that one for some reason. So we started using the old one, and a couple days later, because I was off, and then I was back on, with the same coworker, by the way. I got to work with them 3 times in 4 days. So a lot of chaos ensued. It was a fucking fun time. It's always a fun time with them. I fucking love working with them. And we go in, and we put a little post-it note on the old one saying it's not turning on. And I go to see if it's working again, and I hit the button, and it goes green, and it's like, and I'm like, oh! And then it says lens obstruction, restart camera, and then it turns itself right back off, and I'm like, oh. Because I turn it around, and one of the little lens, like, you know how, like, a camera, like, it'll, like, you turn it on, and, like, these 2 little shields kind of push away, and then, like, the camera is open, and you can see the camera. One of those was stuck down, and one of those was, like, super loose, so it didn't really go up, and unless you, like, held it upside down somehow. So I kept hitting it a few times, and it just kept saying lens obstruction. And I was like, okay, well, what do we do here? So I Googled it, and what I interpreted from whatever site I found was to just hold the lens, like hold the little door, like push it and push it down, and then turn it on as you do it, so it kind of like maybe like reconnects itself properly. And somehow that worked. So it opened, and the lens didn't look bad at all. It actually looked fine, and the flash worked and everything. It was genuinely working with that camera. And we were like, holy shit, we got it. And then I turned it off. I put the SD card from the old one back into the new one, and then it didn't work again. It said lens obstruction. I was like, shit. And so then I figured around with it some more, and then it worked again. And we're like, yay! And then it's been working since. So we, I think, are good there. But anything could happen. It is a crazy time. So that camera could very well still not work at some point. But now it works fine. So fingers crossed it keeps working fine. But yeah, that's about this week in retail, as far as I'm concerned. The bathroom hasn't been as awful as it was last week. I think that was last week. I have such a bad scale of time. It's honestly sad. Oh no, it's fine. It's okay. We'll get to it. One of my coworkers' birthdays is on Monday, and they have a card, and I was supposed to sign it with my coworker yesterday, but I forgot. But we both work today anyway, so I'm gonna do that today. I'm gonna write that down for myself, because they literally told me to do that. I forgot completely. I'm an awful person when it comes to remembering things. I'm just gonna go into my phone, open notes. What was I doing? Sign birthday card. There you go. I'm just gonna write that down and hope I look at my memo at some point during the day, which I tend to do, which is, I don't know why I do that a lot, but I just have a lot of ideas in my brain. I'm like, oh dude, I'm gonna work on this. Like recently, I've been working, like a year ago, I was doing a thing for my sister where I was making like tarot cards in like an Adventure Time theme for them. Like I had to find like a screenshot of this show that I thought was funny, or like I thought like represented one of the cards really well. And I was like, all right, I'll just do that, because they like both of those things, and I like Adventure Time, so I was absolutely gonna like just watch the show and like be like, ooh, those are some good ideas. And I started a couple of those, and I worked on that for like a couple days, and then I stopped for like a week or so because I was like, I didn't really have any other ideas, and but I wanted to get back to it. But then that was when my old computer broke on me. So I was like, oh shit, what am I gonna do? And then I get a new one, and then it comes in, and then lo and behold, the website I was using to make these edits didn't save anything from my progress. I was shattered. I was so sad, and I just got completely unmotivated to do it, so I stopped doing it. And recently, I've been working on it again, and I have a few, and I'm not the best artist. If you couldn't tell from like my channel banner, I'm not exactly the greatest artist in the world. So I mean, I am doing like I what I do is I'll like put the photo into the program, and then I'll like I made like the whole card layout and everything for all of them, and then I'll just like you put their photo on like the bottom half, and then I'll like try to draw it on the top half. And then I'll just like I'll like choose the color from inside of the photo, and then I'll just like paint over it with that. Because I mean, like I don't know how to do color otherwise. I'm not very good at judging color, so I'm just I just use that option. But I try my best not to trace. Some things I did trace, so I am not exactly. No man is without sin, but I mean it's not like I'm selling these. It's not like I'm just You know, it's just like I'm making a gift for my sister. So if I want it to look good on some points, then yeah, I'm gonna try to. I'm just gonna make it look good. I don't know. So I mean, if I trace something, I trace something. Like the one of them, I did freaking Flame Princess, and I spent so long trying to get that hair correct. And I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna, this is a good picture, I'm just gonna use this, and then I'm gonna, like, shift it around however I do. And I did, and it looks really good now. So, again, I just want it to look nice, because I want her to actually want to use them, or, like, want to look at them. I don't want to just, like, hand her a pile of macaroni salad and say, this is I made for you, look, if you could hang it up on your fridge. And then it's like, oh, great, yeah, thanks, kid. And then she just fucking throws it in the trash when I'm not looking. So I don't want that. I want her to appreciate them. So, and they are turning out really good. The back looks really nice. Maybe I'll show you the back. Where is anything that I do? There, here we are. Oh, I should have it saved. Okay, this isn't the final, if I can find it. Hold on. This isn't the final version because I forgot a couple of the little spokes on the card. Just image, sure. Why not? Image file, browse, yes. Tarot cards. So this is the back of the cards. Oh, that's big. Yeah, I forgot I made it really, really big so that way it would look nice when I scale it into the website. It's like Enchiridion. It's cool. I really like it. I think it came out pretty well. A lot of weird errors and stuff. Like the sizing is kind of weird because I tried making it proportionate, but it didn't really work out very well. I added some weird lines on there to make it look cool. It looks cool. I'm really happy with how it came out, and I'm hoping. Yeah, remove the image. Get it out of there. Okay. But I'm really hoping that she enjoys it, because that's going to be the back. I'm not going to show you any of the fronts. Maybe when I'm done with the whole project, I'll show you some. Right now, I've got 3 done of the main, like the major ones. I'm not too into tarot cards, so I don't entirely know the whole lore and logistics of it. But like the major arcana, which is like 22 cards, like the big 22 that people like a lot. I want to get those done first. I have an idea for the other ones, which are just kind of like the minor ones, which are like kind of just like a playing card deck, where it's like 2, 3, 4s of swords and cups and coins and stuff. I want to do those, but I might just wind up bitching out and making them really basic. But what I wanted to do originally, like a year ago, was like make like a whole storyline. So like I'd have like Finn's progression as a hero and like the swords deck thing. And then, like, the cups would be something, and then the coins would be, like, something. But I'm not exactly confident that I could do that in time, because I want to have this done before she comes back to around us, because she's in California right now, and I want that to be done, and she's supposed to be back around August. So I only have, like, a month or 2 to work on this. So I'm going to try to get the major ones out, and then I'll see how much time I have left for the minor ones. Luckily for me, I found a much easier way to do this, because originally, how I was doing it was I'd make the little shape, and then I'd color it in, and then I'd make another shape, I'd color it in, and make a shape, color it in. When all I really need to do is make an outline, and then use the fill bucket, which I didn't know was an option on this software. But now after looking up if I could do it, I now know I could do that. So I did it, and I'm like, holy shit, this makes everything better. So like I spent hours working on one of these, but now it'll probably only take like an hour or some extra time, because again I have to make sure it actually looks nice. So I'm hoping that they turn out good, that they like them, and that's gonna be cool. That's what I've been kind of just doing lately. I've been doing that. I've been doing obviously like some videos and stuff, some live streams and whatnot. But I've been putting a lot of my focus on other things like that little project, as well as like I'm trying to like get back into like doing harmonica more often, because I feel like I'm not as good as I used to be, and I'm trying to get better at that. I'm trying to learn guitar. I'm trying to learn a bunch of stuff. None of it's really showing up on the learning segments, because I don't think learning music is gonna be that entertaining. So, and it's just gonna sound awful because I'm gonna try to do like Across the Universe from the Beatles, which is what I'm doing on harmonica now. And it sounds really nice, but every time you mess up, it just sounds awful, and I don't want to put that on you guys. But who knows? We'll see. Maybe it'll pop up somewhere. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of that. And I also have a lot of fun little video ideas in my head too. So don't get me like I ain't going nowhere. By the way, I mean that's not happening. I'm kind of just broadening the things I like to do, which I'm very very okay with and happy with. But yeah, I have a lot of ideas for this stuff. I have something very fun in mind for my birthday, which I think is gonna be really cool. But I need to put a lot more effort onto that. So I'm gonna try to get these major cards out. And then I'm funneling a lot of my thoughts into my birthday video. It's not going to be very birthday themed, though. Let me just, for those of you who are expecting a birthday themed video, last year it was Stranded Deep in Conversation, but my birthday falls on a Friday this year. But also it's not going to be live because it's my birthday. So I'm going to spend it with family and maybe some friends. I have no idea. We'll see how it goes. I really don't have any plans for my birthday. I don't plan things for my birthday. I just kind of go with whatever happens on the day of. Like, if someone wants to take me somewhere, or someone wants to do something, or give me something, or make me something, I just kind of go with it. Like, I don't know. I don't have very many expectations for my birthday and stuff like that. Because I just would rather spend it, I guess having a fun old time. So I don't really need anything in particular. I know a lot of people will go all out for their birthdays, and this is my 21st birthday, so a lot of my coworkers are like, oh dude, we gotta go out drinking or something. I'm like, dude, I don't know if I'm gonna be the best for that, because I only drink water as it is, because I think my brain is just fried. My brain is water pilled, so it doesn't think that any other drink is good enough for its throat. Because every time I try to drink anything else, I just want to spit it out and just gag uncontrollably until it is out of my mouth or down my throat. Because even with something like lemonade, most of it is I don't like carbonation. So sodas and sparkling waters and stuff like that, I don't like the carbonation aspect of it. It fucks with my mouth. I really don't like it. But then just things where there's pulp or extra stuff in there, like water, there's nothing else in your water. There's nothing. If there's something in your water, you have bad water. Please throw it away. But if with lemonade and smoothies and stuff, you always get chunks of fruit or pulp in there, which I'm not expecting because I'm so used to drinking water. So when I drink something with anything else in it, I start uncontrollably gagging until it is out of my mouth. And then even with stuff like no pulp, sometimes I just don't like the taste of it. Sometimes I just really, again, it's not water, so my brain just completely says, you're not supposed to drink that. Get that out of your mouth. Some things like milk just taste awful. But, I mean, it makes good stuff. But yeah, so I don't really know if I'm going to be the drinking type. I'd love to still just go out and hang out with some of my coworkers, because a lot of them are really cool. The one in particular that I don't work too much with, because she's got a whole bunch going on, but she's very fun, and I really enjoy working with her. But I enjoy working with everybody. Everybody at my work is really, really cool, really, really fun. And it's always a good time. So, I mean, I'd be happy to do something like that with them. It's just that, I don't know if drinking is the choice of legends, at least for me. I'm sure they'd enjoy it, because they already drink. So I'm the youngest one working there. So, but yeah, it's really cool. I'm excited. And for 21, I'm not really all that excited. I think it's just gonna be same old, same old. I can gamble legally, I think, which sounds kind of fun. I'd be down. I'd be down for. Not to make a bunch of money, but just to have fun with a fucking casino. I just put down $200 and say, all right, I'm gonna do a little bit of the slots, and I'm gonna go over to blackjack and try my luck there. I just have fun with that, because I love table games. I love board games. So I mean, if I could, I could just higher stakes board games sounds kind of fun. But again, I'm not gonna as far as I'm concerned, I'm not gonna get addicted to that sort of stuff. Because I mean, I genuinely panic when I have to spend anything over a certain amount of money. Like if I'm like, ah, dude, I really don't want to spend as much money on something, because I'm always in the back of my head, I'm always like, I'm gonna need this somewhere else, somewhere down the line. So I don't really try to spend too much money. So I don't try to. I'm already very, well, I'm very strict, but also not at all strict about how I spend my money. Like I bought a fucking foam finger. Because I listened to Go, my favorite sports team, and I just wanted. I'm like, oh, do they have a fucking foam finger? I'm buying a foam finger, and I bought a foam finger. So that's what I spend my money on. But again, that's like a smaller purchase. If I'm like going crazy on something, I don't like spending. I don't like making big purchases because that I think I could probably spend the money elsewhere. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know if anyone else feels the same. But I've always had that. It's always been like a bug to me. Like it's just strange. But I'm not gonna talk too much more about it because it's kind of boring and kind of. I guess maybe someone finds it sad. I don't know. I don't find it sad at all. I don't give two shits worth of shake. But yeah, I mean that's really all I have for today. Sorry, it was kind of just a bunch of rambling nonsense. I mean, a lot of it was this week in retail. I didn't really have. I don't know. I didn't plan anything for today, and I kind of was like, oh, this is a lot on my this week in retail like memo. Maybe I'll just have this the entire day, but that didn't really last as long as I thought it would. So I was just kind of filling it with some random shit. But I enjoy just getting thoughts out of my head and putting it out somewhere, because a lot of times I just kind of view it myself because I don't really talk. I'm a fun-loving guy. I much prefer just making people laugh and shit. So any opportunity I can get to just talk about things in my brain that I'm like actually like really interested in or like worried about, I'm down. But also, as long as it's not to somebody. I hate talking about myself. I like that's one thing. Like if I'm like face to face with somebody, I'm not good at talking about myself. I'd much rather know what they're doing, how things are going with them. I'm not good at self talk. Well, I guess I'm good at I'm good at talking to myself. That's something I'm real good at. I'm too good at talking to myself. But I'm gonna shut up now because I want to get this done so that I can work more on these cards and then possibly like a little bit of like, other shit that I'm doing. So yeah. I hope you guys have a good day. Tomorrow I'm probably going to just do a learning segment because I'm going out with my sister and I want to again have some more time saved up so I want to get these 22 cards done so that way I can at least because all you really need are the major ones. The minor ones are good if from what I understand they're good at the small things, and the major ones are like good for the big reads and stuff, so it's like they mean more and they're like actually more interesting. The minor ones are just kind of like, oh hey, you got 4 of swords. That means you're gonna find a nice pair of shoes you like in a store. And what's this? The 7 of coins? Oh, you're gonna spend $80 on a new lawnmower soon. Like, but then you draw like the fool, and you're like, you're gonna love somebody so much, and then they're going to cheat on you with 18 people at once, and it's gonna be really sad, and you're gonna regret everything you've ever done in your life. At least it's how again, I'm not very into it, so I could be very wrong about those assessments and those judgments. I don't know. I have no idea. But either way, I just want to get the big ones out of the way, and then I can focus on the small ones. It's gonna be fun. It's something I'm really enjoying doing because I love making things. Making things is always one of my favorite things to do. Just anything. It could literally be anything. Doing something that involves my hands and my brain, thinking about how to do it and then actually doing it. I love that. I love that so much. So I'm gonna go do that right now. So thank you all for tuning in to Stranded Deep in Conversation. I don't know what to call this one. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, everybody.